Hi there, I'm Jenn Cassetta, your Chief Badassery Officer. If you're feeling drained, hesitant, stuck in self-doubt, or you just have a case of the vlogs, the Art of Badassery podcast is here to help you unleash your mojo once and for all. We'll provide you with tips, techniques, and real-life examples of how you can kick ass in all areas of your life. You'll learn how to flex your mental muscles, rise above fears, and turn setbacks into superpowers. So let's enter the dojo and let's get to work. Welcome to the Art of Badassery podcast. I'm Jenn Cassetta, your Chief Badassery Officer, and today I have a very special guest. Her name is Patrina Wisdom, and I need to know if that was her given name or is that a name that she took on? We're going to find out. But first, let me tell you about Patrina. Patrina Wisdom is the Chief Abundance Activator and visionary leader of Pure Abundance Inc., TEDx speaker and creator of the Anatomy of Abundance framework, and author of the book, The Anatomy of Abundance, a conscious guide to creating prosperity in all aspects of life. After the sudden death of her husband in 2009, coupled with the news that she was pregnant with her fourth child, Patrina transformed her personal tragedy into a mission to empower women. With over 20 years of experience as a life coach, yoga instructor, NLP practitioner, me too, and licensed financial educator, she founded Pure Abundance Inc. to help women break free from the generational cycles of fear, scarcity, and struggle. Through financial education, collective investing, and transformative retreats, sign me up, Patrina guides women to embrace their personal power and align with their true purpose. Welcome to the show, Patrina.
Thank you so much. You have no idea how excited I am to be here. When I saw you speak on the yacht at the WeWo event, one of the things I loved most about you, the way that you present your talk, is that you incorporate that martial arts in there. I was like, the Art of Badassery is like the perfect name for this woman. And of course, I had to follow you.
Oh, thank you, my dear. And so I was telling Patrina before we started recording that she kept showing up in my feed. I kept wanting to have someone talk about abundance on this podcast in a both ethereal sense, the spiritual aspect, but also practical takeaways. And that's what I really love about your information. Then I watched your TEDx talk, which, by the way, she gave in spoken word. So talk about pure mastery of how you have to memorize every single word and deliver with such style and grace.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's funny because we always see the leader or the performer who's on stage, but we don't see the people that helped create that in the background. So I just have to shout out my team of amazing people who helped me structure that talk, but then also just helped me to practice it and become performance ready, if you will. One of the things about me is I have a vast diversification of experience, skills, all of it. And so I used to be a singer, and I've always been very obsessed with spoken word. And to be quite honest, I just tell my freaking stories so much that I was bored with it. And I was like, how can I spin this and like really bring joy to my performance where it's powerful? It touches home, but it's not just another tragic fucking story. That was how that came about. And the other beautiful thing about that experience is that was before TEDx was like this huge thing where people have to apply and train and prepare for. And so I find that with the way my life works, because I always live in such alignment and I'm such a spiritually led and intentional person, I find myself in the right places at the right time. And I'm usually a trailblazer far ahead of whatever the trend is going to be. And so that's one of those experiences where I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I even did that. They asked me, but yeah, it's just interesting. And I'm always in that position where I'm doing something new and innovative. And it used to make me feel like an outlier, but now I just freaking own it. Just
and as you're speaking, I'm like, I want what she's having. Or I want to get into your story, but before, can you just say a little bit more about that alignment? You feel like you're so aligned?
Yes. So it's very interesting. I think when I was younger, I looked at it as not a flaw, but as a kind of a burden, if you will. I've just always been able to see things beyond what it is in the present. And I've always found myself in situations with people that could have a long-lasting impact on my life as well as the trajectory of my life, but not really knowing it, not being able to articulate it, but being able to feel it. And then my crazy ass follows the feeling because I have so much trust in spirit. And a lot of people talk about faith. I was raised in a very religious home where they talk about faith all the time, but I didn't ever really see faith in action modeled. So at a very young age, I vowed that I'm going to live faith in action. Didn't really know what that looked like. But when I look back in retrospect, literally that's what I've done my entire life, including when I lost my husband to suicide in 2009. Most people, I'm a mother of three, full-time entrepreneur, taking care of everything as we often do as high achieving, high functioning women. And honestly, I don't think we had a lot of languaging, or maybe I just wasn't aware really of what kind of depression and those things look like. My husband fell into a depression. He was in the financial business right out to the fall of 2008. He just felt a little withdrawn. I didn't really recognize him. When he's in a mode, he isolates. So I thought he was fine. He woke up one morning, put on his suit and tie, grabbed his briefcase, gave me and the three kids at the time a kiss goodbye, told us he loved us, and walked out the door like any other day, but knowing he was never coming home. So he goes missing for 24 hours. I'm calling, I'm texting, because of course the same day I found out I was pregnant with my fourth child.
The same exact day.
So long story short, overnight, my life completely changes.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
even though we might be the head of the household, leading everything and feeling like we have 8 arms, right? And when that other person is actually removed from the home, shit gets real, real fast.
Right. Oh my God.
So
I'm
in that moment, I essentially had to make a decision. Am I going to be a victim to this and allow this to completely divert my path? Or am I going to choose to be a victor over my situation and just get real creative and find the courage, find the resources, and whatever else I'm going to need in order to move forward and continue with my purpose?
That's so courageous. And victim or victor is a big
Yeah.
quote from my martial arts instructor too,
Oh,
which I love. But can you just share a little bit about what that moment or the days and weeks were like after
yeah.
finding out that your husband wasn't coming home? What was that like for
Yeah.
you?
Well, I've had, unfortunately, fortunately, resilience is born in the hard times, is what I'll say. And unfortunately, I had so many experiences up to that point that prepared me for that experience.
Wow.
I essentially checked out, is how this happened. Honestly, I don't even remember the first probably year and a half after he passed.
Wow.
I remember maybe the first 3 days when I was in shock, when I was falling apart, when I was on my knees in the bathroom, when the kids would go to bed, like literally bawling and curled over like I was gonna throw up. Like, I remember those feelings so viscerally, like right now. I had it and still feel those emotions. But I believe at some point, probably within the first week of his passing, I just checked out.
Yeah.
And I went into automatic mode like we often do. And then I woke up a year and a half, 2 years later, and I'm like, holy crap, I've like taken over the financial business, continued to run my personal development company. I was freaking performing on stage at night, like doing a million things. I started a nonprofit called Hands of Comfort Foundation to serve other people, the cause, and other people. And I wanted to make sure that I help everybody else. But when I finally woke up, I realized that even though I had this big, beautiful home that my husband and I had created together and had essentially, in the material sense, gotten everything I'd ever asked for, my home was empty and soulless, and I just wasn't happy anymore. I wasn't fulfilled. And so that was actually how I moved to San Diego. I woke up one morning, Spirit said, "You are released." All my family, friends, everybody was in Vegas where I was living at the time. I didn't tell a soul that I was leaving. And I just decided I needed a fresh start and to figure this shit out and create life on my terms. So I bounced. I sold the house. I sold everything in it. within 27 days and didn't tell anyone I was leaving until 3 days before.
How about the kids?
The kids knew. They're along for the ride. But yeah, sometimes you have to make radical decisions and be radically an advocate for yourself in order to make real change in the world.
That's amazing. My whole career has really been, okay, this sounds good, or this opportunity, and just saying yes to different things without such a rigid and structured plan. And that really is about faith. And as I'm getting older, I can really understand that much more. It's about believing it until you see it versus seeing it,
Yeah.
believing it.
And that's what we're taught. And honestly, that's like the biggest passion and the reason I do the things that I do and I say the things I say is because I like to say I like to lovingly kick people in the ass because I'm the most loving and nurturing person and people feel so safe for me. But I'm also going to say the thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be abrupt on purpose. And I'm probably going to cuss on purpose because they don't expect it from me. And it's like a total pattern interrupt. But I just feel like we don't always have to make big change in our life because there's a traumatic shift, like an external stimulus that causes us to change.
Right.
There's a lot of us very high functioning, high achieving women who are like so in that automatic mode, creating, performing, showing up, that we don't stop long enough to even know if we're actually happy or not and choose change. So I feel like transition can be from a place of scarcity, which most of us probably make the biggest changes from a place of scarcity, or they can be rooted in abundance, where you have an awareness, where you choose a different path, and where you courageously step into that path and with a lot of faith.
So you moved to San Diego. You shocked your family, everybody. And then what was the plan from there or the progress from there?
So funny enough, I know we were going to talk about some of my influences. And so my very first coach, Marsh Angle, she is the one who helped me shape my messaging and like my coaching business, like way back. I think it was like 2007, 2008. And then I met a woman by the name of Lisa Nichols.
Oh, I love her so much.
Yes. How can you not? Okay.
Right.
So Lisa Nichols was living in Carlsbad at the time. So when that nudge happened where I knew—
Hold on. For everyone out there listening, if you don't know who Lisa Nichols is, she was in The Secret, right?
Yes, she was in The Secret. That's where she got her start. Her house. Yeah.
No,
or look her up.
Please look her up. She's a powerhouse, badass.
And it was the first time I saw a woman who looked like me, talked like me, had similar hair to me, that was embodying what it was that I wanted to do. And really just like a twin, like a mirror from me. So she, at the time, lived in Carlsbad. Okay. So when I'm like, I know I want a fresh start, but I don't know where, I don't know how, I was like, shit, move close to the fire. So I moved to Carlsbad because of Lisa Nichols, because I had gone to a couple of her events and we made a connection. And she was just such a big part of my life at that point. And so that's how that started. So when I came here, I volunteered with her. I studied under her for a while. And I started just putting the bricks in place for this new life that I get to lead.
Wow. Very cool. Okay. And then from there, walk us through it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So what I realized is that after my husband passed, so I've been a journaler because of all the incredible experiences, some great, not so great, that I've had. I've been a journaler since a very young age. And when I look back at my journals, all the shit I've been through and how I've gotten out of it, it was always step one, who am I? Not who am I from before, but who am I now? Step two, identify.
This is the framework.
This is the framework.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So she's walking us through the anatomy of abundance framework. I went through it yesterday, so I want. Oh wait, this is it. Listen, this is it. Slow down.
This is how it happened because I'm going through the journals and I'm like, I always reconnect with myself first.
Okay.
Identify the disempowering stories, the people, the experiences that are affecting my choices, my decisions, right? And then I get rid of those and I reframe those experiences, stories, and decisions.
Okay, hold on. Sometimes you got to get rid of people.
Yes. That's part of why I left Las Vegas. I love you and I gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go recreate myself and you may or may not understand it, but I can't let you ground me in who I was because I need to go become who I'm becoming. So with that, you really have to be great at sacred self-care. And sacred
That's the W though, because that's
wisdom, WIS.
yes. I knew that, but hold on. So I forgot to ask you, is wisdom your chosen name or given name?
Wisdom is the name that resonated after my husband passed and I recreated myself.
Oh my gosh, you changed.
That was the name that came through. And when I did the numerology on it, it was like, yes, hell yes, this is it.
Wow. Okay. I'm so glad I remembered to ask. So now the framework goes WISDOM. So what does the W actually stand for in the
Who are
first?
you?
Who are you? Got it. And
Who are
the
you?
I is identify the limiting things, people, places,
Empowering
situations.
beliefs, people. And then the S is sacred self-care, which means treating yourself, mind, body, and spirit as if you are the divine. So most people look at the divine as something outside of themselves, and I've just never been able to fully buy into that because I know that spirit lives within me. And so if spirit lives within me, I'm the representation in this physical world of the divine, and therefore I should walk as such.
Self-care, not only is it not selfish, but it's so empowering. It's so important. And yet, so many women set it aside and put everybody else's wants, needs, and desires above their own self-care. Can you say a little bit more about what sacred self-care is to you?
Yeah, self-care itself has become such a buzzword and it's very superficial at this point, right? People think, oh, I take bubble baths and I light candles and I go get a facial and a massage and I'm really great at self-care. No, self-care is how you talk to yourself. Self-care is the boundaries you do or don't have. Self-care is who you allow into your space and who you don't, that energetic protection. I don't like the word protection per se because it sounds like negative, but it's so self-care shows up, sacred self-care shows up in so many different ways, which is why I branded sacred self-care so that people would think about it differently.
I like
You
that.
know?
So it's all the rituals and practices that we have, not just taking care of our physical body, but our mental, emotional, spiritual self as well.
Yeah. Because I can look stunning on the outside, but one
Which
of the
you always do, by the way.
Thank you. And I think one of the reasons is because I take such good care of my inside. So it's really, and I tell people, like, it's my inner glow that you're seeing. It's my inner joy. It's my inner glow. It's my alignment. The way that I live is what you're seeing. Because I'm getting old. I'm 52 now, almost 52. So it's happening again. It's going to continue to happen. And this is going to potentially shift, but what's in here won't. And so that's where that sacred self-care comes in.
Beautiful.
So I feel like once you get into a good place with those first 3 pillars, who are you identifying and removing the things that no longer serve, and then really learning how to take care of yourself well, then the next steps are then to change the outer world. You want to declare, tell other people, your friends, your family, your coworkers, whomever, the truth of who you are, because ultimately we've been lying for years, saying yes when we mean no, allowing certain boundaries to be crossed. And so then that trains them that it's okay to cross that boundary. There's a lot of things that need to be declared verbally so that people know.
What about, can I ask you a question on that? Because I love speaking about my future, who I'm becoming, my goals, my dreams, manifestation. And there are certain speakers, teachers, etc., that will say, don't share that with people because some people are going to doubt you or whatever. You don't want their bad energy on it. And I get that, but also I just feel like there's something so powerful about declaring who you're becoming. So what are your thoughts on that?
So we're twin souls on this because I just don't give a shit. And honestly, that's just the truth. Their response to my goals, my dreams, and what I'm declaring is not my responsibility. It's theirs. For me, I'm rooting that in and I'm sending a message to the universe. It's such a powerful tool. And I think it's something that a lot of people take for granted because we get taught it all the time. Write down your goals, speak your goals out loud 2-3 times a day, or all these things. But we ignore or discount the very powerful little rituals that make huge impact in our life. And that's one of them. So that's one of the things I do with my clients, whether it's in a mastermind or a VIP day or whatever. I'm always going to go through some sort of a core values exercise, which is so basic and we forget.
Right.
I'm always going to do some sort of a declarative statement with them.
Right.
Because once we're rooted in that, then we can move to step 5 of the system, which is organize. Another piece that people forget. Okay, I'm going to change my identity. I'm going to reinvent myself. But then they don't change the systems, the structures, and the people that are around them to support those systems.
Right.
But that could be in personal life or business. If you're a high functioning CEO in a company and you know you're not feeling in alignment, you're not in joy, there must be some people, some systems, something that needs to be reorganized in order to support what you want to feel.
You said, and you're not in joy.
Yeah.
That is what we're supposed to be, which I agree. You know how many people out there are probably like, wait, I'm supposed to enjoy my life?
It's shocking how many people just assume they have to struggle, that they have to hustle, that they have being miserable. I'm a professional, or I'm an entrepreneur, or I'm a mom, or whatever it is, or I'm married. It's a big one, right? I'm married, so I can't do this and that, and I'm not entitled to feel X and X. But no, that's bullshit. Like, to me, you get to create the best you first. That's going to spread and infect positively everything and everyone who's in your life.
Yes, the ripple effect.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's the organized step. And then once you have all of those pillars in line, you want to move into action with accountability and support. Yes. And that's those friends who are like your biggest cheerleaders, but will also pull your coattail when you're screwing up. That's your mentors who might be 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of you and can help pull you to those goals and dreams. And anything else, sister circles, family members, adjustments, right? The ones that are in the inner circle and those who might need to be in the slightly outer circle. So yeah.
And can move into action also be like the actual steps you need to take. So whether you need to get new skills, credentials, go back to school, learn how to start a business, whatever that is, then do the things.
It's basically having a plan, right? Having your plan and then what do I need to execute this plan?
Okay.
That's what it is.
So thank you for sharing that amazing framework, and I can see how helpful it is. I see a lot on your website and your social media about your financial education for women.
Yeah.
Can you share just like a little bit about that? What do we need to know about building wealth, like basic steps?
The funny thing is I never wanted to ever do anything that had to do with money because it wasn't something I ever mastered in my life in the past. And there was a lot of wounding around it because I didn't grow up. I inherited my financial business from my husband. And so he's someone who, unlike a lot of partners, forced me to learn basic financial education, right? So how to budget, to make sure you had systems in place for saving money. And then also the fact that wherever you're saving your money, you want to make sure you're getting the highest return on that money so that it's growing itself. One of the other things I learned from him, but also from 20 plus years in the financial business, is that you want to have residual and passive income, and they're different. Passive income could be from a business, perhaps, courses, things like that, where you set it and forget it, and you're making a passive income. Residual income, on the other hand, is something that I do the work for today, insurance, investments, things of that nature, but that will still pay me years from now. It can also be training and developing and having some sort of a spread over a team or a technology or IP, selling IP, things of that nature. So you want to have active, passive, and residual income whenever you can.
Most people just have
one or two streams and they think they're set.
Yeah. And most
Really,
people are a paycheck.
Stocks and bonds, could be real estate, could be crypto, and everybody wants to fight over it's this or that. No, it's this and that and that. And you get to play in all those arenas. And that way you have options when one's up, one's down. And that's how you have a better balanced portfolio.
And is this stuff that you either teach or encourage and coach on in your
Yes.
retreats? Tell us about your high-end retreats.
Yeah. So with the retreats, I really deal more with the woman themselves,
Mm.
right? When I'm doing more financial or business focused or career focused stuff, that I typically deliver that more on the VIP day or a one-on-one retreat, just because it's more, what is it? Like what is it? The right brain, I think, where
Mm.
it's more like logistics.
Yeah.
But in
Oh,
the
yeah.
retreats, we deal more with the core of the woman. And so that's the mindset, that's the spirituality, that's the sacred self care, that's the healing bit, and really just bringing them home to themselves while having a beautiful experience, completely away from all the responsibilities. So it's really more of a discovery and a transformation during those retreats.
I love that. I just recently started hosting retreats. So in the past year, I've done two. And because it had always been a goal of mine for the last 15 years. And there is just something special
Magic. It's
that,
magic.
that
There's
happens.
something that happens when you take people away from their normal environment. You put them in a room or a container with like-minded people. There's an immersion and an intensity that happens. And I actually create a whole bunch of space on my retreats. A lot of it is to just being with yourself, hearing your own voice instead of everybody else's, remembering who you are, what you want, and developing a plan to move forward and step into that.
Beautiful.
So simple that it took me a very long time to figure out how to articulate my magic. But it eventually turned into the framework and all the things I'm doing now. So I feel like this iteration of my life, this is my legacy period, where the books and the retreats and the real estate stuff that I'm doing, everything I'm doing is collaborative. I don't want to do things on my own anymore. I want to uplift other women and bring them along the journey with me, because not everybody is as fearless as you and I.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Or
Yes. I wouldn't even call myself fearless. I feel fear all the time. I
well,
just,
we feel it. I
yeah.
feel it. I'm about to launch season 6 of my podcast. And this is the first season I'm doing solo episodes. I almost peed my pants when literally, I was like sweating. I'm like, oh my God, why am I so nervous? I always get nervous when I speak or whatever, but this was different. I felt sick. And it's
Really?
because it was just me. And I realized we all do this. A lot of us high functioning women, we do this. We're so busy serving that it actually allows us to put ourselves back behind in the back of the line. And so with me interviewing people, I got to hide. It was sneaky, but I got to hide a little bit. Oh yeah, it's all about that. Oh, isn't that great? And I'll interject a little bit. But now it's 30-minute-ish, just me. Holy crap. You know what I mean? It's intense, but it's great because it lets you know that you're moving into a different phase of life, a different season. And I feel like I'm elevating. There is a point where you've had so much success doing certain things. Everything's easy and I don't really get scared. I finally found an edge.
Yeah.
It's an edge. Oh, crap.
I can't wait to tune into them. Yeah. There was something else around your website and what you're speaking on a lot, and we touched on this mindset of scarcity and lack with women specifically. And you
Yeah.
talk about breaking generational patterns of this.
Yeah.
I immediately think of where my scarcity mindset comes from. And sorry, mom, but like for sure, she grew up in a family of 9 kids and who was going to have the last potato stories and all that. It was very challenging for me over time to break that mindset and to retrain and rewire my mind for abundance. And I'm still working on it every single
yeah.
and not fall into that trap of scarcity and lack. So why do many women specifically have that mindset and how can we move on past it?
Yeah, it's really interesting because the short answer is societal and familial programming, but also example. Because you learn sometimes from what your parents or people around you say, but I almost feel like you learn more and you're influenced more by what they do or don't do.
The energy that they're giving off. When they're
That part.
stressed about the paying bills as a kid,
And
we're picking up on that.
yes.
Because I literally had this conversation with my mom the other day. We thought about money. I was like, of course, maybe she doesn't remember it, but as a kid, I felt the energy.
Yes. And then we all have different experiences as well. Your mother is having an experience, your father is having an experience, and then you're having an experience within their experience. And if you talk to those same 3 people that were in the same room, you're going to get 3 different experiences and
Right.
3 different ways that it resonates.
Right.
So, one of the things I've had to learn to do when dealing with the people who I believe influenced the scarcity that I lived for so many years
Mm.
is have grace. And those have to be graceful conversations, and you have to see, you get to put yourself in their shoes and understand their side. But I think the awareness alone of knowing that many of our decisions are rooted in scarcity and knowing what that is, what it feels like in our bodies, and knowing that we can make a different choice and choose to create from abundance, that's really the biggest thing I'm trying to get through people's head right now. Because it's
Mhm.
not hard, it's just recognizing it. When it happens, it's not judging it, and it's understanding, just like you said, that there's no freaking end, right? If you have certain wounds, they're almost always gonna keep rearing their ugly head, but that's where the intention and the awareness comes in, because you need to be able to say, "Oh, I see you, scarcity. I get you. I feel that. I feel that in my stomach," right? "Oh, no, we're not doing that. We're gonna choose something different." It's really the core of, I would say, everything. I don't feel like I do anything. Yes, I identified and packaged the framework, but really, I'm just a vessel that spirit works through to call people out on certain things, and they know that I'm doing it in a loving way. That's
Oh,
really the container that I create. And that's my magic. That's my superpower. So it's very hard to answer sometimes what I do, because I always say it's not what I do, it's who I be.
I love that. And who you be
Who
is
I be.
amazing.
Thank
Is
you.
confident. Is it's just
Yeah.
it radiates from you. I don't
Mhm.
feel any doubt or second guessing yourself. Like who you are is who you are, and it's so clear. So thank you. Mm.
Thank
Wonderful. So I'm pretty sure I covered all the questions that I had for you. Oh no, there was one more. What is collective investing?
So I ended up partnering with a real estate company as their community liaison so that I can learn about commercial real estate investing. I'd done lots of residential stuff, but I'd never done commercial. And so what I was learning specifically is called syndications. And syndications is a way for people to purchase and acquire properties with no money or credit of their own. It's a collective investment strategy, creative investment strategy that
Huh?
I took a deep dive into, and it just totally lit me up to, first off, just be in a position of just learning and not knowing anything, and then just to feel how I evolved and grew through that process. And now I'm going to be incorporating that in the work with my clients.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the thing is that there's a lot of amazing things that have been reserved for the wealthy, right? Including financial education. I
Yeah.
think thanks to the internet, we have access to so much more information than we've ever had before. But traditionally, we're not in the rooms, we're not potentially in the family that knows these things. And a lot of these syndication deals or creative investments or collaborative investment deals, you have to be invited into.
Yeah.
And so if you're not invited into the room, you probably will never know about it. Meanwhile, almost every shopping center or big commercial deal is a collective.
Interesting. I had no
Yeah.
idea. Okay. Any last words before I get into our four rapid questions about abundance and just what it means to you? Because I know that word has
Yeah.
different meanings to different people.
It does. And for me, there's an element of the physical abundance and prosperity, like actual money, because it is almost as important as air, right? So there is that. And I like to live a certain lifestyle. I call myself a bougie hippie. There's just certain things I gotta have, right?
I can relate to that. Bougie hippie.
I'm a bougie hippie. But at its core, for me, abundance is never being in lack. So no matter how much money I do or don't have, because again, things go up and down, especially as an entrepreneur. If I'm grounded in joy and I'm still able to do and have the experiences that I want to have, then I feel like I'm abundant.
Beautiful. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Patrina, are you ready for my four
I'm
rapid
ready.
fire questions?
Do it.
Whatever comes to your mind first. Ready. Number one. What was your favorite food as a child?
As a child? Oh my God, I didn't like any of the food they fed me as a child. I think I was meant to be born in Asia. I love Asian food. Yeah, I got nothing on that one. I don't think I like too much. We ate a lot of chicken. I don't like chicken anymore.
2, if you could have a drink with anyone, alive or dead,
Yes.
who is the person? What's in your cup?
Oprah, Oprah, Oprah.
Tell
And
me.
I'm gonna have either an espresso martini or a glass of really nice wine.
Okay, beautiful. She's definitely come up before.
Of course.
But not as often as you'd think.
I would have said the Dalai Lama, but I wouldn't be with a cup of anything if I'm sitting.
What's your favorite personal development book besides your own?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna say mine because I'm not afraid to be bold. I'm gonna say mine,
Mhm.
Anatomy of Abundance, but a really strong second would be You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Totally changed my entire freaking life. And I think it was like elementary school or junior high school, changed my whole life. Wow. Oh, there is a different way to live. Opened up my eyes.
That's amazing.
Really love Think and Grow Rich too. I can't not mention because I actually modeled this book, Anatomy of Abundance, on that, where I wanted to be like a guide for people to go back to over and over again. Because I think we all read Think and Grow Rich at least once a year. Yeah, I revisit it, and I realign every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good reminder. Thank you. Patrina Wisdom, thank you so much for your wisdom, for sharing it with all of us. Where can everybody find you and your book?
Yes, patrinawisdom.com. That's my website. And then I'm Patrina Wisdom everywhere. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. I keep things very simple.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Patrina. Yeah. I can't wait to read your book. Everyone out there, thank you so much for listening. And would you mind to make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next episode and leave us a review because they really help. Thank you all so much. I want abundance for each and every single one of you out there. So make sure you get Patrina's book, read it, come back to it year after year. Just think and grow rich. All right. See you next time on the Art of Badassery podcast. Thanks for coming.